I want to talk to you today about the three things that are stopping you from either starting or growing a successful dietitian private practice. When it comes to starting your dietitian private practice, you don't need more money and you don't need more time. What you need is a major mindset adjustment. I'm guessing that you're starting your dietitian private practice with a whirlwind of ideas of all of the things that you can do. You want to start cooking demos. You want to work with kids, teens, adults. You think that you can be the be all do all for anyone that could potentially utilize your services. And the reality of this is that by trying to connect with all of these individuals, you are actually connecting with no one, which is halting your progress in your dietitian private practice. My name is Shena, and I'm a dietitian that has been running my dietitian private practice for the last decade. So I want to share some of the secrets of the trade with you. Let's simplify this to make life a whole lot easier. So let's talk about three things that you don't need in your dietitian private practice. You do not need more education. In fact, please just stop doing this. Stop trying to get additional certifications, degrees, etc. I don't know how to say this in a nice way. Your patients do not give a shit about your degree. Your patients probably do not even know what a registered dietitian is. And I know this is painful because we were forced to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars probably going and getting a bachelor's, master's degree internship, and nobody knows or cares what we do. So in order to serve patients efficiently, you really only need about a 10% edge over the knowledge that that individual already has. You have that. If you are a dietitian, you probably have 120% competitive edge over anyone else that is actually has the potential to connect with that patient that might be interested in your services. So in actuality, you're overqualified providing these services to your patient. Now, the reason why that is a problem is not because you have a lot of education. The reason that that becomes a problem is it makes it really difficult for you to connect with your patient. Your patient doesn't want to be overwhelmed. They don't want to know what glyconeogenesis is. They don't want to know all 20 amino acids that are necessary to build their lean body mass, even if that is where their interest is in seeking you out as a dietitian. They just want to know what foods they need to eat in order to build that lean body mass. So we really need to break that down and put things into the most simple form necessary. So instead of going out and seeking all these additional degrees and credentials that are actually going to just separate you from that patient even further, learn how to clarify your message even better. How can you help that specific person that you serve reach their goals? The second thing that you do not need in your dietitian private practice is more time. I always hear people say, I just don't have enough time. Girl, you have the same amount of time as every other human being on this planet. In fact, the only thing that you have until the day that you die is actually time. That is the most abundant thing really that you have. Simply need to realize what are your priorities. Are your priorities starting a private practice? Because what we make time for is what we prioritize. Starting a private practice does not need to be difficult. We can start a private practice in as many as 2 to 5 hours a week. So get rid of that notion that we do not have enough time. Almost all of us have between 2 to 5 hours a week of starting to work on our dietitian private practice. And if we don't, we might really need to take a look at where we are prioritizing our time. Is it saying yes to things that don't actually fit our morals and values? Could we delegate out some of the tasks that we are spending our own time doing, such as household chores? Could that be something done by a spouse or our children? And we're simply not delegating out these tasks. Let's take a look at our time and get realistic with ourselves and whether or not we simply don't have enough time or if your private practice is just not a priority on the list. Next thing that often comes up as a barrier to private practice is people believe that they don't have enough money. It really does not cost a lot of money to start a dietitian private practice, folks. If you're starting a virtual dietitian private practice, what you're going to need for sure are going to be things like an EHR system between $50 to $100 a month. You're going to need potentially a website so people can book an appointments, which could be as little as $5 to $7 a month. And you're going to need liability insurance, which is about $200 to $300 a year. So all in all, you could start your dietitian private practice for under $500. You do not need more money. And a lot of individuals believe that they need to put money into things like advertising or promotion of their business, but this is simply incorrect. You can do a lot of organic marketing that can send tons of traffic our way, such as social media, or things like SEO optimization on Google. So money should not be a barrier for you starting your dietitian private practice. Have I debunked all of your excuses at this point? Great, because you are in the perfect position to start and grow your dietitian private practice into a lucrative business